We're now going to turn our attention to invariance. So invariance means something that is unchanged. If something is invariant under a transformation, it means it's not affected by it. And there's three types of invariance that we're going to explore. In this video, we're looking at invariant points. There are also invariant lines and lines of invariant points. We're going to take a video on each of these to just untangle them all and look at what the methods are for each one. Let's start with invariant points. So an invariant point is a single point that is not affected by a matrix. Now, there's actually one point which is invariant under all matrix transformations, and that's the origin. If you take any matrix, A, B, C, D, and you apply that matrix to the point 0, 0, you always get 0, 0. So there's a nice one. The origin is always an invariant point, but sometimes there are other invariant points as well. So the definition of an invariant point is a point is invariant under M if M times the point xy, if we were in 2D, for example, is xy. That's the definition of an invariant point. So let's look at a question that actually explores the idea of an invariant point. Maybe pause the video and try this. Most of this you'll be able to do already. So part A, describe fully the single geometrical transformation U represented by the matrix A. Well, here is A. Now that looks very much like a rotation, a two-dimensional rotation. Remember that this has got to correspond to cos theta minus sine theta, cos theta. So what we need is cos theta to equal minus a half, and we need sine theta to equal root 3 over 2. So if cos theta equals minus a half, that means theta is 120 or 240. Now if sine theta equals root 3 over 2, that's because theta equals 60 or 120. So we get 120 in both, and so this is a rotation, anti-clockwise rotation of 120 degrees about the origin. Okay, so only one invariant point there. If you've got rotation, all points change apart from the origin. Okay, the transformation V, represented by a 2 by 2 matrix B, is a reflection in the line y equals minus x. Write down matrix B. So a reflection in the line y equals minus x. If you ever need to just rederive these, you can. Here's the line y equals minus x, and therefore we'd want our point xy to be reflected down here. So we want our old x value to become our new y value but negative, so minus x, and we want our old y value to become our new x value but negative. So what's the matrix that turns xy into minus y minus x? And if you just remember this, it's fine, it's only one mark. So it's going to be no x's and minus 1y to get me the minus y there, and minus 1x and no y's there. So the answer is that B is 0, minus 1, 0. Okay, given that U followed by V is the transformation T, which is represented by the matrix C, find the matrix C. Okay, the order matters here because a rotation followed by a reflection is not the same as a reflection followed by a rotation. So this is U followed by V. So we want U to be applied first, which is the matrix A, and then we want V, which is the matrix B. So we need BA because A gets its hands on it first. So B is 0, minus 1, 0. And A is the one above, minus a half, minus root 3 over 2, root 3 over 2, and minus a half. multiply this out, we get 0 times minus half minus 1 times root 3 over 2. So minus root 3 over 2. Next one, 0 times that, and minus 1 times minus a half is positive a half. Then we've got positive a half down here, and positive root 3 over 2 down here. Okay, now for part D, show that there is a real number k for which the point 1k is invariant under T. So here's the matrix representing the transformation T. And we need to show that there is a point 1k which is unchanged when we apply this matrix to it. Okay, let's give ourselves a little bit more room. Okay, so if there is a point which is invariant, it means that when I take my point, my matrix representing T, and I apply it to the point 1k, I must get 1k. So let's see if we can work out what k is. If I just multiply this out, what I get is minus root 3 over 2 times 1 plus half k needs to equal 1. Well, look, I can just go ahead and solve that. I'll get half k equals 1 plus root 3 over 2, and therefore k is equal to 2 plus root 3. Well, I'm not done yet because I need to check that this works in the following line as well. If you just try this with any old matrix, you'll sometimes find it just, you'll get a different value of k here. But let's see what happens. When we multiply out the second one, we get a half times 1 plus root 3 over 2k, and we need that to equal k. Okay, well, this looks kind of different, right? Let's see if we can solve it. So I'm going to have a half equals, well, k minus root 3 over 2k. I can factorize out the k, giving me 1 minus root 3 over 2. Well, that means that k is a half divided by 1 minus root 3 over 2. So that looks different, but let's just use our calculator and see what it actually is. So that is a half divided by 1 minus root 3 over 2. And look, lo and behold, it's 2 plus root 3. So what we've got is the same value of k for both of these equations. When we insist that the top is 1 and we insist that the bottom is k, in both of those cases we get k equals 2 plus root 3. So we could conclude that by saying when k equals 2 plus root 3, 1k is invariant under T. And we found that there is an invariant point. In fact, there's only one invariant point when x equals 1, and that's when the y value is 2 plus root 3. Now, a reasonable question to ask is, well, how do I just find invariant points in general? Well, there kind of is a general method, but it doesn't always work that well. So if you just pick a random matrix like 2, minus 1, 4, 3, for example, and said, how do I find the invariant points under this matrix? Well, an invariant point would be the point where if you take the point x, y, you apply this matrix, you get x, y. So to solve this, we would just multiply it out. We get 2x minus y. So 2x minus y needs to equal x if this is invariant. Simplified, we get x minus y equals 0. And then the next line, we get 4x plus 3y, 4x plus 3y, and that needs to equal y. Well, simplified, we get 4x plus 2y equals 0. Now, if you solve these simultaneous equations, for instance, dividing this one through by 2, we get 2x plus y equals 0. Adding these two lines together, we get 3x equals 0. So x is 0, sub that in here, we get y equals 0. And all we've done is establish that the origin is the invariant point. And of course, the origin is always invariant. So this establishes that the origin is the only invariant point under that matrix. Okay, so that's invariance and more particularly invariant points. In the next video, we're going to look at invariant lines. See you there.